Hey guys, what's going on? This is Leo. We're taking a look here at AMC. I found some pretty interesting stuff that I think y'all are going to find well interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We're on the 4-hour chart now. The first thing that you'll obviously notice is this white channel that I have up on here. You know, market geometry it's pivotal in doing any type of technical analysis, because what you'll find is that price often moves in channels and ranges. Now, I would argue that this is holding prices very neatly, right? So I mean, if you look at the tops, it touched the same top of the channel exactly, both runs. We have good support here on the low end. So, you know, I really like that for that reason. Now, if we take a look here at these triangles, something that I recently noticed is that in both of these triangles, you see this decreasing volume until you get the channel break, right? And then volume picks back up. And then where we are now, you notice that we are getting very close to the end of this triangle. We're at the low side of this channel. So, I mean, we are literally, any day now, this thing should break out if this pattern that we've been seeing is going to continue. So it's looking really good. What this is here is this is a bar pattern. And so what I've done is I've cloned these bars and I've overlaid them into the future so we can get an idea of what it would look like for this next possible rip up. So, you know, would it look exactly like this? No, but it's going to look very similar. You know, we can take a look here on the trend-based Fib Time Projection. So I'm going to start from what was the low here, coming to the top. Is that it? Does that look different? Okay, I must have started it from here last time because I think that's the absolute low. So you notice that the peak, now it's a little bit off here because I'm on the 4-hour chart. I think if I'm on the daily, it lines up exactly, ending on the 200% move here. But what I want you to take away from this is just how similar this fractal pattern is. A fractal pattern, for anyone that's new that's watching, is just a pattern that repeats in the market. So Elliott wave is an example of a fractal pattern, but Elliott wave allows you to track them and keep track of them, basically, you know, organize the price action. So, you know, it's looking very, very similar. You know, it peaks out here at the 200% time extension from this initial move up, right? So that's 200% the length in time for it to peak out here. So we do that same thing, measuring from the low up to the high of this initial run up, projecting out in time 200%. That's lining up at the top of the channel here with, you know, just copying this move and moving it over to here, assuming that this will repeat. And the reason that I've got a $400 target, I'm not saying that it would stop there necessarily. That is solely going to depend on at what point the shorts have too much pressure on them. The problem is that, you know, I can't do the whole algebra equation if I don't know how many shorts they are. We can speculate, but we really don't know. And, you know, it depends how much pressure they can take. I personally can't see it going into the hundreds and them not just being like, we're done, we're closing out everything. But if it gets to 400 and they're still holding on, you know, it's possible if we're to move into a triangle like that. I'm not trying to do FUD. I'm just laying out possibilities, because I think you have less fear if you know the possible routes that you could go rather than walking into the unknown. So that's why I'm going over this. So I strongly believe that they won't be able to hold. I think that it's very likely we would rip past this. I think they would have to start to close out all of their positions at this point. But it's interesting nonetheless. And the reason I got to $400 is that if we measure from the low going to the high, that's not right. Why is it? Hang on. Why is it not showing the proper? Oh, I know what it's doing. Oh, it's because I have it on the regular trading hours, because the channel here doesn't fit if you're not on regular trading hours. So essentially, from the low up to here, it was a 1,300% increase, and then from this low to the high at 77 and 30 cents, it was a 1,300% increase. So assuming that this pattern is going to repeat, another 1,300% increase would put us around $400 from the low here. So there's a lot of confluence saying that we should at least go to $400. Doesn't mean that it stops there and it doesn't go higher, but I would say there's a strong case for it to at least hit the $400 mark on this next run up, which should be breaking out literally any day now. It's exciting times, very exciting times. Now, I'm sure some of y'all may have heard that Bitcoin had a flash crash down to $8,200. That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, as far as these people that are talking about, oh, it's going to $100,000 for AMC. How many of y'all were able to buy Bitcoin at $8,200? Because that's essentially what it would look like on a short squeeze. It would be that quick, or at least it's very likely that it would be that quick. Only a handful of Bitcoin traded down there at such a low price. And, that's effectively what would happen with AMC if it were to squeeze up to 100,000, 500,000 that people keep talking about. I would be shocked if it got there, because I think the government will just simply shut it down before it ever got to that price. But, it's going to be there for a fraction of a second. So, anyway, I just want to lay that out there, because that is a perfect example of how these liquidity squeezes play out, or just regular short squeezes where you have this, it's literally just a wick. It was there for a few seconds and then it was gone. So I think that pretty much covers everything as far as updating the chart here for AMC. There's another way you could look at it. I'll go over real quick. That removes the channel, but this would be with the extended trading hours. And you can just see that we're getting really narrow here within this triangle. There's not much more to go. The EMAs are flat. We're about to get a golden cross here on the daily, which is where the 200 EMA and the 55 EMA cross. If I can bump that up, let me see. Oh, we've already golden crossed. That must have been the 4 hour that I was looking at. So, we're about to get the golden cross here on the 4 hour. Things are looking good. Literally any day now. It's exciting times. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If you have any more questions, just drop a comment below, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll get back to y'all as soon as I can. Thanks. Bye.